Welcome to Tenuous Collections, Part 2. This Tenuous Connection is about how there is a Viennese school in economics and a Viennese school in music. The Viennese school in economics is all about liberty. Indeed, economists like Hayek were pure liberals and vigorously defended the free market. The market, left alone, is the result of free human action and is therefore virtuous. He argued against the planned economy, state interventionism, and against socialism. The market is made up of individuals who have different values, interests, and motivations. A free market would respect the rational decisions made by the individual, as every individual is capable of being original, creative, and rational. All humans should have an equal right to the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As such, planning is folly, as it assumes that there is a common set of values that we all hold. A centrally planned economy is only concerned with things that humans have in common. The allocation of resources would have to be considered by a central planning board, and it would be up to them to rank what is important and valuable to the whole of society. Society is made up of several individuals who may themselves have wildly different preferences. Individuals have different goals, but the central planner assumes that society has a common goal. The goal of government should adjust to the different needs of sovereign individuals who make their own rational choices and not impose a set of goals arbitrarily devised by the state. In the 1930s, laissez-faire capitalism was in crisis. The Great Depression had occurred, and different ideologies such as communism and fascism promised to shape the future. People spoke about socialism being the third way and about planning for freedom. Hayek wrote about his defenses of capitalism within this context, and this accounts for the strident tone of his writings. Keynes, a classical liberal, read The Road to Serfdom and said that he agreed with it. However, he proposed government intervention in the economy so as to artificially keep demand up, maintain full employment, and thus save capitalism from drifting towards these other unappealing collectivist ideologies. Following the war, Churchill brandished a copy of Road to Serfdom and claimed it would require some sort of Gestapo to run it efficiently. Meanwhile, the Viennese school in music is not all about liberty. It is quite planned and methodical. Arnold Schoenberg came up with a 12-tone technique. The 12-tone technique orders the 12 tones of the chromatic scale in a row, and the composer must adhere to it. Schoenberg tried to come up with a system for a type of music that wasn't in any particular key. It gave some unity to the melody and harmony of a piece. Schoenberg had initially written a tonal music without a system, but he thought that a tonal music needed a certain system. Composers such as Wagner and Debussy started to stretch tonality as far as it could go. Hence, the market economy in Hayek's worldview is a free sovereign agent who is able to determine his own values and choices. Meanwhile, Schoenberg's serialism placed strict dictates on the composer, which were taken further after the war. Composers such as Boulez and Stockhausen applied this principle to pitch, rhythms, and dynamics. However, they were both similar and they were both pro-progress. The Viennese school in economics was all about creating a dynamic economy that was always changing. Indeed, Hayek defined himself as a liberal and opposed conservatism. Hayek stated the following: one of the fundamental traits of the conservative attitude is a fear of change, a timid distrust of the new, and such, while the liberal position is based on courage and confidence, on a preparedness to let change run its course, even if we cannot predict where it will lead. Meanwhile, the Viennese school in music was all about looking forward and about creating a new type of music. They didn't do it because they disliked Beethoven or Mozart. They did their music because were progressives who wanted to create something new for the classical canon. Indeed, Schoenberg viewed his music as a natural progression from its predecessors. It was not an act of wanton destruction. Serialism was meant to solve a crisis, much the same way that Keynes' economic theories were an attempt to solve a crisis. Keynes wanted to save capitalism from collapsing, while Schoenberg's theories were an attempt to solve the collapse of tonality.